All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something big, a really radical idea for how to rebuild American manufacturing, and it's taking a page right out of the Elon Musk playbook.
So let's just jump right in, because this whole thing kicks off with a really simple but honestly a really profound question. I mean, think about it. We've got these gigantic Amazon or Tesla scale hubs for buying stuff online or for building electric cars. So why on earth don't we have something like that for making, well, everything else?
And that question, it gets right to the heart of what you could call an existential problem for manufacturing. So the solution we're going to explore today is not some tiny little tweak. No, this is a full-on, mission-driven startup idea that's designed to solve this thing from the ground up.
So here it is, the big idea, something called a manufacturing capacity exchange. Okay, so what is that? The best way to think about it is like cloud computing, AWS or Google Cloud. But instead of logging on to get server space, you're tapping into a whole nationwide network of physical factories. It's basically an internet of factories, all connected and coordinated by a super smart AI.
Okay, so to really get why a system like this is so desperately needed, we've got to take a look at what American manufacturing actually looks like today. And honestly, the best word to describe it is fragmented. I mean, check this out. The US has this incredible base of skilled manufacturers. Just let this number sink in for a second. Over 17,000 individual machine shops. That's huge. But here's the catch. For the most part, they're all operating as their own little disconnected islands.
And you might hear small and medium-sized shops and think, well, how much can that really be? Don't make that mistake. When you add them all up, they represent a massive market. We're talking nearly $45 billion a year. The potential here is just absolutely enormous.
So here's the bottom line. We have all of this incredible manufacturing muscle in the country, but because it's broken up into thousands of little pieces, it's super inefficient. And worse, it's incredibly hard for the people with new ideas, the innovators, the entrepreneurs, to actually use it. It's like all this potential is locked up behind thousands of different doors.
Now, to be fair, companies have definitely tried to tackle this. You've got platforms like Xometry, right? They've built these really successful marketplaces, and that proves one thing for sure. The demand is there. But they've also struggled with profitability. High costs to get customers, razor-thin margins. It really suggests that just being a simple marketplace, a middleman, isn't the whole answer.
And this is what makes the timing for a new approach just perfect. There is a massive reshoring trend happening right now. Just in 2024, companies announced plans for over 244,000 new manufacturing jobs right here in the US as they bring production back home. So the demand for a killer domestic solution, it's absolutely surging.
Okay, so you've got this huge wave of reshoring, creating this incredible opportunity. So let's talk about a strategy that thinks way bigger, one that really leans into that Elon Musk playbook.
And this whole strategy is built on 4 core pillars. First, you need a bold, powerful mission. Second, you use first principles thinking. That's where you break a problem all the way down to its basic truths and then build a solution from scratch. Third, you can't be afraid to build things yourself, to vertically integrate. And fourth, you have to iterate like crazy, fast, relentless improvement.
And that first pillar, the mission, listen to this. This is so important. This isn't just some boring corporate slogan about being a B2B marketplace. No way. It frames the whole thing as a movement, right? To totally democratize the ability to make physical things, to make it as easy as just spinning up a server on AWS. That's a game changer.
So what's the engine that makes all this possible? It's a really sophisticated AI, and it has 4 key jobs. Job number 1, give you an instant quote for your part. No more waiting days. Job 2, it's a smart matchmaker, routing your job to the absolute perfect factory in the network for that specific task. Job 3, and this is wild, it can actually predict quality control issues before they even happen. And finally, Job 4, it helps you optimize your design, making it easier and cheaper to build from the get-go.
Okay, a big vision is great. We all love a big vision. But execution is everything. So how in the world would you actually get a project this huge off the ground? Let's take a look at the roadmap.
The whole plan is laid out as a journey, really, over 5 distinct phases. You start small, with a super focused pilot, and then you methodically scale up, phase by phase, all the way to this long-term moonshot goal that could literally change the face of American industry.
And that first step is absolutely crucial. You don't try to boil the ocean. You start by totally dominating a very specific, complex niche.
making prototypes for consumer electronics. And this is just a brilliant strategic move. Why? Because it's a high-value market and requires a ton of different manufacturing processes. It's the perfect stress test to prove the whole platform actually works before you try to expand everywhere else.
So let's play this out. Let's fast forward a bit. Imagine this plan succeeds. This network comes to life. What does the future of making stuff actually look like?
Well, the end game isn't just an improvement. It's a total paradigm shift. The ultimate goal here is to turn physical manufacturing capacity into a utility, just like electricity from the power grid or, again, computing power from the cloud. You just plug in. You get as much as you need, right when you need it, and you never have to think about building a factory yourself.
And this really brings it all home. The stakes here are so much bigger than just building an efficient company. The real mission is to use this technology to kickstart a whole new industrial revolution right here on American soil, powered by American ingenuity and by connecting all that incredible but currently disconnected manufacturing talent we already have.
Which brings us back to where we started and leaves us with this one final, really provocative thought. We started by asking, why aren't there Tesla-scale factories for everything? Well, maybe the answer is that America's next gigafactory isn't going to be a single building at all. Maybe it's going to be a smart, agile, and unbelievably powerful network that connects thousands of small workshops all across the country.